Hello, and welcome to the Soul of Innovation podcast. I am the host, Thomas Anglero, and my mission for this podcast is to share with you those private thoughts and reflections that I have, being one of the top keynote speakers around the world on technology, motivation, and innovation. I hope you truly enjoy all the lessons I share, all the dots I connect that sometimes are just really difficult to get out, but it's all for you. I truly hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Soul of Innovation podcast. I am Thomas Anglero, and I'm reflecting hard on an experience I have had for the last 3 days that has been a gift beyond all gifts. I am talking to you from Dubai, where I was asked and honored by being asked to come and to present at a panel with dignitaries, with presidents, heads of states, ministers. On my panel, I had His Royal Highness to my right. I had a space scientist to my left. It was amazing. But what was amazing being here was what I learned about being, about changing my life, about changing my very essence of living. Let me tell you a story. Just a couple hours ago, I went downstairs from the hotel, got off the elevator, made a right turn into the lobby. As I turned into the lobby, just at that moment, I walked right into the center of the posse of people surrounding the president of one of these African countries. He was amazing. He looked at me, I looked at him, and we just kept walking side by side. Just like two normal people. But at that moment, at that initial moment, we were just two people. I didn't know he was the president of whatever country he was the president of. But the first thing that captivated me was, who is this man? Because his aura was so strong. It was so powerful, and not of power. It was powerful of relaxation and comfort in his own skin. He was the most calm person I have ever been around. I was in an instant state of joy. And I was like, what's going on? I felt as if everything slowed down. As we walked, I felt I was walking in slow-mo. I felt all of a sudden I was walking in a dignified way. As I looked at him, I understood. He has no concerns. He has no worries. He's the top alpha. He is the president. When you live in a state that you do not worry, you don't worry about your mortgage. You don't worry about your bad relationship, your bad marriage. You don't worry about where your next meal is coming from. You don't worry about your paycheck. You don't worry about people stabbing you in the back. Figuratively, not literally, because I guess heads of state do worry about that, but let's ignore that for a moment. You don't worry about any of those worries. If we get rid of all of those worries, and we know that everyone looks up to us, you are a different person. You are weightless. I understood that I was standing next to someone who was without concern. As the doors of the hotel opened up and we went outside, His Royal Highness from Dubai was standing there, and he started to walk to him, and the president walked to His Royal Highness. And His Royal Highness came up to him to thank him for attending the summit. And His Royal Highness also seemed to be, as he walked, walking softly on clouds, almost as if floating. Because again, His Royal Highness has no concerns, has no worries. And as they shook hands, they didn't raise their hands quickly. They raised their hands in this soft, elegant way. So they shook each other's hand, and then with their other hand, they put it on each other's elbow. They looked at each other's eyes with this deep stare of love and thankfulness. And they did all this in a slow way, not slow and awkward, but slow and beautiful, slow and meaningful. I stood back to watch this whole scene. I stood back to watch not just the handshake, stood back not to just to watch the mutual respect, but I stood back to watch also the posse of people that was surrounding the president, who were completely consumed by every motion and reaction he did. They were hyper. They were vibrating at a fast frequency. They were completely captivated and consumed by whatever the president did. They would jump to it. They would make sure his needs were met. But in the center of all that chaos that was surrounding him, like a hurricane, that out of the perimeter hurricane, things are spinning and flying everywhere. But at the center of the hurricane, that is called the eye of the hurricane, it is complete calm. That complete calm was the president. That complete calm was His Royal Highness. That complete calm can be you. How do I achieve such peace within ourselves? The way we do that is by accepting that there are no threats. Nothing's going to come and get me. Nothing's going to destroy me. There are no threats out here. Life is truly, truly good. A bad marriage, poor income, lost job, life is still so beautiful. That is what I saw in these gentlemen. And not just because they're men, I'm sure the same thing with women, doesn't matter. Life without that concern, and you find your true essence, and your true essence is this beautiful thing. You become a magnet to other people. That's why these heads of states, when they get together, there's so many people surrounding them all the time. Of course, there's security, but at the same time, people can't help but being around them because they are who we so desperately want to be. A person who's not concerned, who's not caught up with all these things. You can be that. Just let go of all the crap that's holding you back. Let go of all that stuff that's in your head all the time. Let go of all those dreams and all those stories and all those bad things that happened to you before. And hold on to this moment and say, I have no concerns. I have no worries. I have now. And you too will be floating when you walk. You too will look like you're walking in slow motion when you're not. It was such an amazing feeling. I did not want to leave the side of the president because his energy put me, I truly felt like I was back in the womb of my mother. That was the last time, if I could possibly remember, the last time I felt so safe, so comfortable, so protected. And yet I understood I can have that feeling every moment of the day. Just by letting let go. And just being. I know you're thinking it's easier said than done. But think about it. If you had no concerns and no worries, if you had nothing, how would you feel? You would feel like the president. You would feel like His Royal Highness. Go forth and spread beauty and light. Go forth and spread this feeling you have of being the most at peace with yourself you've ever been. I want you to take that feeling you have now, that feeling that you're feeling, and you're a little bit nervous but because God, if I allow this to myself to feel this way too long, what's going to happen? That's exactly the whole point of this exercise, is that I want you to take this feeling of calm, this feeling of peace, and I want you to take that into your private life. I want you to take that into your business life. I want you to take that everywhere, and I want you to watch how people are going to start surrounding you, and you're not going to know why, but you're going to know why they're not going to know why, and it's going to be amazing. We want to be surrounded by people who we want to be like. We surround the royalty of the world because we want to be like them. We can be like them by not taking in all this stuff, by not caring, by letting go. All that stuff doesn't mean anything. You can get a job. If you don't have a job, you can get a job if you are at peace with your inner self. If you don't have any love in your life, you want to get love, you will find peace and love by being at peace. Most of your problems that you have, including lack of income, will be solved by finding your inner peace. These Tibetan monks that go away for weeks at a time, months at a time, why do they do that? To find inner peace. And they've been doing this for thousands of years. There's a reason for that. Because finding your state of inner peace is where all human beings are supposed to be all the time. That's where we are at our best. That's when life is at its absolute paramount. That's when we ascend. But when we're at a low level and we're worried about all these things, he said, he say, she say, people stabbing in the back, my job, this, that, marriage, love, no love, blah, blah, blah. That's low vibration. But if you're truly at peace, more love will come to you than you can ever imagine. I'm Thomas Anglero. I'm at peace because I was so lucky to walk next to and be among some of the most powerful people in the world who taught me without opening their mouth. They taught me what it means to be at peace. I love you. Until next time. Thank you for listening to that episode. If you want to contact me, you can contact me on my website at anglero.com, and you can also subscribe to the newsletter. Or you can find me anywhere on social media with Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you so much, and I hope to hear from you very soon.